Reverend Cooper. Would you like us to sit, stand? What would you like? Stand?
Stand.
We'll have our invocation.
Would you bow your heads with me, please, and your hearts? O Lord, our Father, let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. We ask, O God, that those that have petitions, those that have comments to bring before this board, that they would speak with clarity of heart. And we ask that you will grant the board that they may have wisdom and understanding, O God, that they may give righteous judgment, that it may be done in earth here in Riverhead as it is in heaven. And we ask your blessings, and we thank you, O God, for preserving us and protecting this land of the free and home of the brave. In the matchless name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Maybe.
Thank you. Reverend Cooper, we really appreciate you coming out. Reverend Cooper is from the House of Praise Christian Revival Center in Riverhead. That's right on Roanoke Avenue, I believe. Okay. Got a big agenda here. Our first, I don't know, does the town board know that we have a birthday here today?
Yes.
Warren McKnight, why don't you step up front and center? We've got something for Warren McKnight. It's his birthday. You want to come up? Yeah, oh, come on up.
I know you have a very quick agenda. We'll be very quick.
No, it's not a quick agenda.
No, you got to do government work. You got to make the town better.
This is government work.
That's never quick.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen you since. Yeah, good to see you all. God bless you all. Congratulations.
Warren McKnight, today is Warren McKnight's birthday. And everybody, every once in a while it's good for the town board to be grounded in certain things. And Warren McKnight provides grounding for us, whether he's down at, you had a recent trip into New York City to visit some folks, and you were playing the banjo. And you see him periodically on Main Street. I've seen him in Sayville. And he has a way of just brightening up the day and making everything lighthearted. So, and I don't say lighthearted, but lightening everything up. The burdens of the day. Warren is one of these guys that no matter how burdened you are, you look at Warren, he brings that banjo out, and suddenly things feel better. And I can tell you, just seeing him after 5 minutes of the meeting that I just had before I came in here, and my heart was heavy, Warren, you've made me feel better just seeing you. So you've entertained hundreds of people across actually the country. You were in a movie. You were at what's it, Zaboski Park? Zakowski's?
Zuccotti Park.
Zuccotti Park in the city last week.
Yes.
And you're celebrating your 68th birthday today. So we have a proclamation. And John, why don't you tell everybody what day it is today?
It's Warren McKnight Day in the town of Riverhead.
So Warren, congratulations. Would you like to play happy birthday for yourself?
I'd like to say if my banjo gets on your nerves, it's John Dunleavy's fault. Because on a cold December night when he first got, after his election, he invited me to his inauguration and to play at it, And it was really nice. So he encouraged it. And I'm actually moving out of Riverhead because the fact is that when I went down to Zuccotti Park, the people told me not to come back or they'd leave. So the Federal Reserve, the Stock Exchange, and the bankers offered me $1 million. So I'm going there. No, everybody has a tough job. And here I have a thank you from the Third Estate, Newsday, one of the newspapers, and everybody has their names on it, to the town board, thanking them for their encouragement. So I'll give this here, and then I'm not going to sing a happy birthday, but Reverend Cooper, I met her once I saw her the second time I saw her here, and I met her once at Friendly's with a family and some friends, and that voice, Reverend Cooper, and that joy and grace, I always change my agenda. I sing Amazing Grace, the first verse, twice. The second time I want everybody to sing. because I don't know all the other curses, right? And this is to everybody. It's a wonderful town. And young people here from Riley Avenue, if you want to be good citizens, don't play the banjo on Main Street. No. Thank you. Ready? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved the wretch like me. When I once was lost, but now have found, was blind, but now I see. Everybody, ready? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. When I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see.
Thank you very much for coming out today.
Oh, thank you guys and girls. God bless you and your word.
Bless you too. Stay down here, we're gonna get some more stuff. No, we're staying down there, we got some more, we got some. We've got our canine. Let's have everybody up here involved with the canine from the police department first. Officer Morris? Rocky. I want to introduce everybody. This is our newest canine, and this is Officer John Morris, and this is Rocky. And Rocky. Officer Morris, you want to tell us some information about Rocky? I don't want to.
Rocky's he's a German Shepherd. He's about a year and a half old.
What? I don't want to scare you.
He's from Poland, and he's about a year and a half old. We started training Rocky back in May of this year to have him be a police service dog. His initial training makes him what they call patrol certified, where he's certified to find people and/or evidence that may be from either lost or from a crime, proceeds from a crime. From there, the dogs that we use, we train with the Suffolk County Police Department. They can be cross-trained in 3 different specialties, one being narcotics, the other being cadavers or bombs and explosives. We have 2 dogs in the town of Riverhead. The other dog is actually Vaki, and he's handled by Officer Dasinski, and he is currently in advanced narcotics training with Vaki now. And we just look forward to serving you guys.
And Rocky's name is somewhat special. Can you share why Rocky was chosen?
Yeah, I chose the name Rocky. He's actually named after former Chief of Police Roscoe Palmer, who had passed away. Actually, it's 2 years ago today, I believe. I think that traditions are important, especially in police work. And I know Dixon Palmer, our union president, worked real hard on trying to replace a dog. We had a dog that passed away in October of last year, and they were trying to get a dog to replace it, and Dixon worked real hard on it. So I thought that those things being said, it was important to honor the memory of his father.
Thank you. Can we get the PBA in the police department? Very, very early on.
I think that's all.
It's on, but it's on low. If I speak into it like this, they can hear me. Our PBA president, Dixon Palmer, and vice president, Chris Parkin, came in very early on. I guess it was 2010. It's about when, and we talked about the police dog. And through a generous donation of the district attorney's office, Tom Spoda, who not only donated the dog, but donated money to train the dog and different things, we wound up with Rocky. And it's fitting, too, that we come here today because Officer Morris has done something that you don't see that often. And we should see it more often. Officer Morris wants to acknowledge the Buildings and Grounds crew. Can you guys come on up? Buildings and Grounds and the vehicle garage, town garage, come on up. Will, Mike, come on up. The municipal garage, Mike Curtis and Richard Warner went out of their way. You can pan to them, because they're the important ones here. They went out of their way to outfit one of the new police cruisers as a canine unit. But that wasn't enough, because it's not the cheapest thing to have a canine. There's a lot that goes into that. So Buildings and Grounds, Guy Cawley is the supervisor of Buildings and Grounds, Gary Hubbard, Dave Zabrowski, Greg Pollock, and Ziggy. Ziggy, give me a help.
See you silent. The hookah.
They went beyond the call of duty. They constructed the kennel. They went to Officer Morris's house, constructed the kennel, and got everything together. And this is what it means to be part of a family. These guys didn't talk about, well, I can't do it because I don't want to, you know, I've got other things to do. We can't make it happen. They made it happen. And Officer Morris sent the letter about a week or two ago, and wanting us to acknowledge you guys. And so the town board's going to do this. And Jody, why don't you? There's one in there for each one of them. If you want to just read them out, and
Sure.
we're going to have you guys give you certificates.
Okay. Michael Curtis from the Municipal Garage. Thank you.
Nice work, Mike.
Richard Warner from the Municipal Garage. Thank you. Gary Hubbard, Buildings and Grounds.
Nice work, Gary.
Dave Zabrowski, Buildings and Grounds. Gregory Pollock, Buildings and Grounds. And Ziggy.
Guy, come on over too.
Guy Cawley.
This is a gentleman that, in Guy Cawley, in our Buildings and Grounds supervisor, who, if there's a task that has to be done, he rises and he does it. And you never have to, although there are a couple things I've asked him to do, he's like, you're crazy, we can't do that. But I appreciate that. Because, sometimes, that's a reality check. But you guys do a great job, and I probably left your certificate on my desk. So we want to thank you guys for coming out, and we appreciate all the help.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, have a good day.
See you, brother.
Thank you.
Wait, I'll need to get back to you, man, bro.
See you, Will. I'll see you.
Okay.
Yes, I don't think I took it, did I?
You forgot his
It's in the bag.
Oh, it's in the bag. Where's the bag?
You took the bag back with you once.
I did?
It's right on the, right near the
Thanks, guys, sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Mark.
You should have,
Yeah, I saw them sitting on this way. Okay, we have some children in the audience, but you guys are not the Weeblos, right?
it's Boy Scouts then free.
No, they're not the Boy Scouts. What are you guys here for? The public hearing? Okay. Community gardens, probably. All right. Can we get We will have the Riley Avenue Boy Scouts here, but they're probably not going to be here till about 3:15. So when they come, we'll acknowledge them.
I'd like to make a
John?
motion to approve the minutes of the October 18th, 2011 minutes. So move.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved.
That's our showcase dog, but we didn't bring him in with,
Wanna bring the dog in today?
no, with 2 dogs. 1 dog's enough.
Okay, as always, on the first meeting in the month, we always like to showcase one of the dogs at the animal shelter. Today available for adoption is a dog named Tyson. It's American Staffordshire Terrier. It's a male, it's neutered, it's a 1.5 old. This is outside on the board if you want to see him. Looks like Petey from the Rascals, so it's a great dog. What does it say? It says he loves to go for walks and enjoys being the center of attention like most dogs. Tyson, unlike his nickname or namesake, is a gentle dog and a real people lover. So we encourage you to stop by the shelter and check out our animals up there. We really got a great bunch of dogs up there, so don't leave them alone for the holidays. Come and get them.
Okay. Thank you. Applications.
Under applications, we have, hold on, let's move that. An application from Competitive Events Group for a triathlon in Wading River on July 7th and 8th, 2012. Under reports, the sewer district submitted their discharge monitoring report for September. Police department submitted their monthly report for September. And under fire districts, the Wading River, Mandeville, and Jamesport fire districts submitted their 2012 budget summary. Also, Jamesport Fire District sent their annual election notice, and that is for December 13th. Under correspondence, there was 1 postcard requesting adoption of the short-term moratorium for the Wading River corridor. A letter from Peter Danowski suggesting changes to the proposed change to Chapter 108 zoning site plan review, and that was our public hearing of October 18th. And that's it.
Okay. So any other committee reports? Oh, he's going to speak part of the meeting.
Okay.
All right, the first, I guess what we'll do is we'll open the first public hearing, 2:05. It was scheduled for 2:05, 2:05 having arrived. It is, town residents are invited to, public hearings is for town residents to express their views for the local housing and community development needs to meet our CDBG block grant funds. Do we have, Joe, do you want to talk about this at all? Sure. Joey is from our Community Development Agency.
Hello. The block grant funding is it's actually federal HUD funding that's passed down through Suffolk County. We're expected to receive approximately $117,000 this year. In years past, that's helped to fund things like the home improvement program, program administration, public services, and public infrastructure projects. We can't use any more than $17,000 towards administration, and individual organizations can't receive less than $5,000, and in years past we've given about $5,000 to 4 or 5 groups.
Okay, thank you. And at this point, we'll listen to the public. If you want to come up and speak about your organization, I see there's a couple people that want to come up. Hello, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you guys?
That community garden looks great.
Thank you.
And I just want to say that the comfort station is done, and we can get you limited keys. We're working on a way to get it open permanently in the summertime. I have some phone calls to make of some people that I think will work with us to keep it open. So I know I digress, but if you see Jill, what she she's not here today, but when you see Jill, we'll get you some keys, so at least you can use it for the interim until it gets winterized. Anyway, if you'd state your name and Hamlet for the record, that would be great.
Lori Nigro, and I live in Riverhead, and I'm one of the co-founders of the River and Roots Community Garden. And I think that an excellent use of some of this grant money would be for a playground, a small playground downtown. As many of us who live downtown and have families, and that's a growing number, know there is not a play space or play area that's a walking distance for us. And downtown has become really a gem lately. There's so many things to do. We're very proud of the community garden. We're very proud of the town and the bid for the events that are put on and all the things and the foot traffic and the restaurants opening. And it's a great place to be, but you don't always want to spend money, to be perfectly honest. You want to go down, and Grangebo looks amazing. It's nice to stroll through with your kids, but there's not, other than, you know, a little playtime on the stage, there's not really a lot for them to do. And you know, living here for 9 years and going from strollers to now kids walking with me, it would be really nice to have an area for them to play. And I think having the aquarium on one end and having a playground on West Main Street on the other end would be really nice bookends to make it a really welcoming, family-friendly downtown. So I hope
I think Councilman Dunleavy wants to tell you something.
We are going to put a playground behind the comfort station, that area behind the comfort station. And we hope it's in place by the summer of 2012. But there is one that's going back there. We just have to get it there and put it up and put a fence around it.
Fantastic.
See how quick he works? This guy's amazing. You come to a hearing and he did it.
Thank you, and thank you for all the things that all of you have done for downtown. It's
Thank you.
really fabulous.
Thank you very much, Lord. Yes. Come on up. Hello.
Afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yep, just give us your name,
Okay.
Diana, and
I'm-
have.
I'm Judy Barth, and I'm here on behalf of Bread and More Inn. Bread and More is a local chapter of the Interfaith Nutritional Network. We are housed at the First Congregational Church in downtown Riverhead. Most of us know us as the Soup Kitchen, however, we are more than that. We provide dinner 3 nights a week to anyone in need. Dinner is started with soup, then salad, meat, starched vegetable, and followed by a dessert. Some of what is served is donated by our local farms and the neighborhood King Cullen. We are a non-for-profit and have been in operation for over 20 years. We are also health department certified. We are indiscriminate in who comes for dinner, and there are various reasons as to why guests are there. In these economic times, we are seeing an increase of 2 and sometimes 3 times the number of guests. Last winter, we saw our numbers rise to 165 dinners per night. The average dinner costs about $1.75 to $2 per person. Our numbers keep rising along with our costs as we struggle to maintain our standard of serving a nutritious meal in a safe environment. This year we face many challenges as our FEMA monies have been canceled and our monthly rent was increased in the beginning of this year. So once again, I am before you to seek out the funding that you have so graciously supported us with in the past. This year, this funding is extremely important to us to help us get us through the year. Thank you for your time, your past consideration in this matter, and I hope you can help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barth. Yes, next.
Good afternoon, Tracy Lutz, Director of Maureen's Haven Program.
Hi, Ms. Lutz. We've not formally met, but we've spoken.
Yes, we have. And first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for all of your support of the Maureen's Haven Program, not only financially through the town community development funding, but every night having at least one police officer on the site where we're screening at the railroad. Very appreciated. I would like to tell you that this year we will not be screening at the railroad, at least on the nights that we're running the program.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
You have a new, do you want to just, the board doesn't know this, but do you want to just expand upon that a little bit?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little
Good,
bit about that. We have relocated from West Main over to Lincoln Street, which is about a block north of the railroad station. We run the shelter program on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's when Maureen's Haven is in operation. And now this year, another church has gone out independently. That's Mattatuck Presbyterian. So on Tuesday evenings, which tonight is the first night of the program, and Thursday evenings, they will still be screening at the train station.
Okay.
We, Maureen's Haven, will not be. We, God willing, and everything being equal, we have been directing our clients, the people who will be using the services, to come to our day center on Lincoln Street, where we will screen indoors. It will give us the ability to do a better screen so that we can really assess for behavior issues, alcohol and drug use, and make sure that we're bringing a relatively safe group of people to the congregations that are hosting the shelter every evening. We will be able to do a drug screen, and more importantly, we won't have 50 or so homeless guests standing at the train station every evening. We'd like to eliminate that just from a dignity perspective, but we'd also like to eliminate that because all the wonderful work that you're all doing to really beautify the downtown, make it a welcoming place for people to go to, we'd like to help you with that effort. So we're very excited about it. And we have gotten some funding through Southampton Bath and Tennis Charitable Fund. Has given us a nice little piece of money to open that up and get started. So it's not just Riverhead Township that's involved in supporting the program, although our main office is here. Our plan is to screen, and then those guests that we will put on public transportation, we will put them in our van, bring them to the train station, and put them on the bus. Probably, I would say on a high night, maybe 15 people, and the rest will remain back at the day center, and then we'll transport from there to whatever church. Now, the day center, we're also planning on being open 7 days a week, hopefully to minimize all of the traffic at the library and other places downtown. Now, obviously, we can't force people to come, but we are trying to make it as welcoming as possible to let our homeless guests in the area get out of the cold and to offer some programming. We have many volunteers who have come forward who are going to do everything from GED to computer classes to basic financial to counseling to health and wellness. So that's our plan. And so far, we're settled in, and I'd like to come back at, maybe in a month or so, let you know how it's going.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, this is what we spoke about probably 18 months ago about trying to do this type of thing with a day center, because you're not doing anybody any justice by just kind of dumping them at the train station on a day that may be 28, 30 degrees and saying, okay, you're on your own. So I commend your efforts, and I know I'm going to support the Maureen's Haven. Again, I'm sure the board probably will too.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. And as I said, I will come back and let you know how we're doing. And I can't thank you enough for all of the support that you've offered us. This is now I'm now entering my second season, so I'm kind of new at this, but I've been in the social service arena for over 2 decades, and I do believe in a continuum of care, and that is the direction that we'll be going in.
Yeah, I think you guys, Maureen's Haven does a lot for the homeless people that we have in the town of Riverhead here. I just want to ask you one question.
Sure.
How many clients do you transport at night to a shelter for sleeping? I know it goes from low to high.
Yeah, on average, last year, and I have some remarks for you, which I'll give to the clerk. She can pass them over to you. Last year, we worked with 252 individuals at least once. We had, on average, 40 homeless adults per night. About 7% of those are veterans. Quite a few from Afghanistan this past season. We had about 20% were women, the rest were men. And our high for the season was 57. The churches in the Riverhead area or in Riverhead Township that we work with are Old Steeple, the Grange, the First Baptist, and I believe there's, and our Redeemer Lutheran up in Aquabog are our sites that provide either coordination in meals or actual sleeping accommodations.
I think they do wonderful work for these people that, because of economic times, are homeless and don't have any place to go, and especially during the winter, they'll be sleeping in the woods or some other makeshift place if it wasn't for Marines Haven transporting these people to these different churches that will take them in for the night. And the churches give them breakfast in the morning. They give them a sandwich, right?
We give them a hot dinner,
Yeah.
homemade. They give them,
Sometimes a
you know,
shower.
fellowship, and some of them have shower facilities. They give them a hot breakfast. People are coming in at 5 o'clock in the morning to make a hot breakfast, and a bagged lunch. Yes.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to thank you. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank
your
you very
support. I
much.
really
That
appreciate
exists.
it.
Flo Deacon Finter.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fred Finter, and I'm here to speak about the Wading River Cemetery. We're seeking some financial assistance for a project that we began about 2 years ago, and that is the repair of the headstones in the cemetery. If you're not familiar with the Wading River Cemetery, it was organized in 1900 and incorporated in 1903. So we have a lot of headstones that over the years, the 100 years or so, have been damaged because they didn't always make them out of marble and granite, but rather out of sandstone and other types of composition of stone. They absorb water in the winter, they freeze, they crack, and they fall apart in many pieces. We have an historical designation from the town of Riverhead and also from the state of New York. And in an attempt to maintain our historical appearance and also to serve the loved ones buried there, we are in need of a little more maintenance money. If you're not familiar with the way the state requires us to bank, we have to keep 3 accounts, and all our monies, of course, come from the sale of burial plots. The 3 accounts, one is a perpetual account, which we can't touch. One is a semi-perpetual account, out of which we can use the interest. Now, when interest was interest, that was a big help. Now you can't buy a lollipop with the interest. And then we have our maintenance account, which, of course, encompasses grass cutting, filling in depressed graves, removing trees. Irene took a big bite out of our maintenance budget with fallen trees. And so we have spent over the past 2 years about $3,500 to repair 20 headstones. And we'd like to continue that project and maintain the appearance of the cemetery. So I thank you for your time.
That cemetery has the distinction of having the longest running town supervisor in Riverhead's history, Sylvester Miller, and I believe Joe Janoski, Supervisor Janoski, said that it was 20 years that he was town supervisor
Yes,
from Wading
yeah.
River. So there's a special place in the town's heart for that cemetery
Thank you.
for that reason alone.
And if anybody don't know, the cemetery is located at North Wading River Road?
Yes, North Wading River Road in Wading River.
Yes. Just up from the Congregational Church.
Yep, just
Short
between the
distance on the
Congregational
right-hand
Church
side.
and Little Flower.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your time.
You can pull it down, guys.
Hi, I'm Judy Caton, and I'm representing the Riverhead Garden Club, which has been around from 1931. What we've done a lot of educational things. We've worked with the hospital. We maintain gardens, and what I'm asking right now is some financial assistance for the East End Arts Garden, which we maintain. It's been there from 1860. It was in the Corwin family at the time, and it's a historical house. And what we need now are boxwoods around the edges, and they're kind of expensive. Jack Vanderwettering from Townscapes and from Ivy Acres has been very helpful with flowers in there, and the garden club is maintaining it. And we also thank the grounds and maintenance people because they do all the rest of the grass mowing and whatever. But right now, we're just looking for some assistance with civic beautification because it is part of the town, and we'd like to restore the historical aspect of the garden.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Barter?
Hello. Bob Barta, President of the Council for the Vale Levitt Music Hall, representing that group. We are listed on the state and national and local historic registers. It is a nonprofit 501c3 charitable corporation, which is made up entirely of volunteer staff, and we provide a large number of charitable services during the year to a variety of fundraising organizations for Toys for Tots, for cancer fundraisers, and actually for several years the local Riverhead Idol organization or event. And what I'm here to ask for is for some financial support from block grants for capital and infrastructure improvements to allow us to expand the types of offerings that we have, to allow for multimedia presentation, for better publicity and promotion in terms of facade and signage work, and potential other maintenance and upgrade issues. The last time that the Vale Levitt actually got a solid repainting inside was just prior to its grand reopening, which is now about 8 years ago. And so it's in need of some assistance and upgrade there, and in order to continue to fulfill our mission to the community.
Okay, thank you.
I think everybody should realize in the town of River, the Vale Levitt, it's an old theater.
We just celebrated our 130th birthday.
It's 130 years old. And what everybody should do, they have shows there, and support the Vale Levitt and go to their shows, because they bring a lot of good, and it's a real old theater. I mean, you go in there, you think you're back in time when you sit in the chairs and watch the stage. So I just want to request that if people are out there, they hear about these shows or they see them advertised, that they go and give their support to the Vale Levitt. You guys have done a great job in fixing it up.
We appreciate the support there, and yeah, check out the website. There's actually a couple of noteworthy performances coming up this winter before we hit December.
Bob, let us know when they are, if we get them get it up on Channel 22, or do you guys ever, not allowed to do commercials, but that's not really a commercial. If you guys ever shoot any YouTube or anything and you want to get it, we'll put it up on Channel 22, to at least your residents will see it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, Bob.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Liz Stokes. I live in the hamlet of Riverhead. I'm not here to ask for money today. You already solved all my issues today. I wanted the playground, I wanted the police recognized for everything. Yeah, I came here for battle and you guys already took care of it.
That was good.
So thank you very much. I'm not here to ask for money. I just want to tell you you're doing a great job.
Thanks. I thought you were coming to help out CAP or something.
Oh, I'm helping out the playground now.
That's it.
What I would like you to consider is after you do the playground, there's gonna need to be a walkway.
We are.
Yep,
That's
okay.
all.
Always gonna be one.
All right.
Yep.
I want to be a part of that,
So it's
okay? I
okay.
have some ideas about a walkway.
Okay.
So that every resident can finally own a piece of Main Street, so.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I want to say something about Liz. She is a volunteer, and she volunteers for almost everything for this town and the kids in this town. So I want to thank her personally for doing all the work you do voluntarily, and all the kids and everybody really enjoy stuff because of you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. I love this town as much as everybody else does, so, and you can see today by the amount of kids that are here, they were ready to go to battle for their playground.
Oh.
So you've already solved it.
Well, they saw what happened. We
Yeah.
caved quickly when the
Yeah.
kids come out.
I want to point one other thing
I know,
out.
the kids start coming in, you get
Yeah,
moving.
okay for the kids. I want to point one other thing out. We have a company that's looking to come out here and donate lighting for the park. It's going to be solar driven, and it will have lights in there also. That will be no cost to the town.
Excellent, excellent. You're doing a
We
great
should know
job.
more on it on Thursday, so we're all reaching out. The whole board's been working hard to make that work.
And the Maureen
gotta
Tatum
thank you.
lady, if she's got some veterans that are homeless, she should contact me. Okay?
I was gonna say
I have
that
permanent
and-
housing for veterans that are homeless.
Did Ms. Lutz leave because Suffolk County Combined Veterans relocated from Patchogue? They're not a county organization, but that's their name, and they're on Roanoke. I think they're in the Studebaker
Suffolk
building.
County United Veterans. I
United
volunteer
Veterans.
for them.
Right.
And that.
She's like you, John.
That's right.
That's
You're
why
right,
John
John.
sees you everywhere.
She
That's right.
volunteers at the jail.
But I'll
she
tell you what.
mentors women in the jail. She does a lot
Liz
for the
at
community.
the library is collecting
Yes.
food
while I have
for the
mic-
veterans. This is for the veterans.
Okay, while I have the
Go
mic,
ahead.
The Riverhead Library, as we always have in the month of November, we're hosting a food drive. It's called Food for Fines. If you owe any money to the library up to $20, you bring in a non-perishable item, and we waive those fines. One non-perishable item counts for $1. What we've seen in the last 7 years that we've been doing this, people are more generous. In other words, it's only costing us about $400 for the month, but we're getting over $5,000 worth of items. So we've been filling the local food banks for many years on this. This year, to honor our veterans, we are doing a first major delivery November 9th to the Suffolk County United Veterans Food Bank on Roanoke Avenue. They're going to allow us to even deliver it to their shelter in Yaphank.
Wow.
Since I started the talk of this around this town, there have been not only non-perishable items delivered, blankets. These guys need blankets. They need men's clothes. They need shoes.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you're here talking about Suffolk County
United Veterans Association.
United, and you'd like them to get CBG Veterans Block Grant money.
Oh, that'd be fabulous. That would
There
absolutely
was
be
a reason
fabulous.
you were here, Liz.
That's right, see, huh?
Just don't think you're the only ones I go after. I've also have a contact with General Shinzeki, who's the head of the United States Armed Services. So I have to go all the way. I'm going to go all the way.
Well, listen, let them know you came and spoke on their behalf, because now I've got
I
Suffolk
will.
County United
I will.
Veterans.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Liz.
And if anybody sees Liz walking around town, say hello and thank her. She does a lot for the town of Riverhead.
Give her a hug.
Is anybody here from...
Joe, we have one question. The amount of the block grant this year, how does that compare to last year?
It's actually down.
Yeah. It's what, about 20%.
Down.
Oh, it is down.
About 15,000.
15,000?
It was cut about
It was
15%.
15%
It was
cut,
like
15.
130 something last year.
Okay. Thanks.
Is anybody here from CAP? Okay, well, I'm going to put a plug in for CAP. We always, I don't say we always, but in the past, we've given to CAP, and that would be one that we need to continue.
And what it was Zonas was
Surprising that they're not, well, I think Zonas Troy is through. I think that's been picked up by Salvation Army. So, but CAP is something, we know what it is, and we'll put a plug in for that. Does anybody else wish to be heard on this? Okay, we'll close this out, the public portion, and we'll leave it open for written comment until, we can leave it open, Joe, to written comment until the 11th at 4:30 p.m., Friday the 11th till 4:30 p.m. in the town clerk's office. Okay?
Can I just say something about it? If anybody doesn't know what CAP is, it's a community awareness program. They have volunteers that go into the 5th grade in Pulaski Street, and they talk to the kids about not using tobacco or not using drugs.
Just say no. Just say no.
It's Just Say No program, and they have a march every year in May from Pulaski Street School down to Main Street. So it's a great organization, and again, they're all volunteers. They have two paid staff, a leader and a secretary. So
And volunteers.
you have to support them.
Yep, and they're having a big fundraiser come June of 2012 at the farm in Yaphank. It's going to be Family Fun Day, so everybody should look forward to that day. It ought to be a great time.
Okay. We'll close that out. We're going to open up the second public hearing scheduled for 2:10, 2:10 having arrived and left. This is a consideration of the adoption of the 2012 annual budget for the town of Riverhead. It looks like the kids are not that interested in the budget adoption. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Does anybody wish to be heard on the annual budget? How you doing, Sal?
Just a quick question. The town justices, is that a full-time position or part-time?
They work one day, I'm gonna let you judge it, they work 1 day, 1 week, 7 days a week, and then they're off 7 days, and then they're on 7 days.
Alternate weeks.
Alternate weeks. and they work in between. They still work because there's decisions and things that have to be written. I'm not available, John. So they're 7 days on, 7 days off. But they are here in their off time doing other things, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else wish to be heard on the budget? Yes. Hey, Paul.
My name is Paul Thompson.
Paul, raise it up a little bit, please.
Yeah, my name is Paul Thompson. After many years, the town of Riverhead went out to bid last year on their fire and security alarm contract, and I guess mainly to save tax money.
Right.
I had estimated that it was on a 5-year contract that we could probably save about $80,000 on your budget. This municipal sealed bid was opened on December 3rd, 2010 at 8 a.m., which time publicly opened and read aloud the bids, and there were 3 bids. This year, the town board made a resolution, the same 158 pages request for a bid on the fire and security alarm system contract, which was sent out, except now the sealed proposals will be received on November 9th, 2011 until 4 p.m. And then 2 days later, the bid will be opened, and I'm a little confused on that.
Okay. Does this have to do with the town budget?
Well,
Not really.
does it
This is
have
a
any-
public hearing on the town budget, Paul.
Okay, all right, so this is
Well,
later on, or
I think
I had
what
a
he's
question.
trying to say is that it could save money if we were to extend or do a longer contract. Is that what you're saying?
Well, look,
or-
it's good that you go out to bid, but the water district didn't go out to bid last year, which we could save a lot of money, and the sewer district went out to bid at a later date. So,
Right.
so I was a little confused, why that took place, and we could save a lot of money if you do go out to bid on other contracts. But I don't understand why they would wait 2 days to open it. I've done this for 45 years, bidding municipal buildings.
Why
and
are
I've-
we waiting? Diane will.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't have anything to do with the town budget, but.
We had an issue last winter. We had a snowstorm, and we didn't expect that, and the bids were supposed to be open that day. And because of that, that created, it became problematic for the bid. So our town attorney's office thought that perhaps that would alleviate problems like that, unforeseen weather and different things that could happen, if we had a day for delivery and then just delayed that opening a couple of days. That snowstorm caused havoc with the opening of that bid.
No, I was there. I was at the
Not
bid.
that bid, a different bid.
Oh, a different bid.
A
because
different bid, right.
In 45 years, I've never, ever
Mhm.
had the experience of a 2-day delay before opening bids.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna cut this part of the conversation. Because this is a public hearing for the budget, Paul.
Okay.
If you wanna come back and during the general comment period, we can do it. If you wanna talk to us privately as board members, you can do that too, but it's not
Okay.
budget related, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on the budget?
Good afternoon, Dennis
afternoon.
Ewan. Is this on?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. I just had a quick question. I was reviewing the budget lines. and
Just state your name and
Dennis
hamlet.
Ewan, Riverhead. The question I had was on the public parking district. The rate seems to have gone up from $1.146 per thousand to 11.167 per thousand. I was just wondering how that. Obviously, the town is making up revenue, but does that affect the districts themselves directly? Is that tenfold, 11-fold percentage, and what was the justification of that
Go ahead.
formula?
Give us the questions, I'm gonna have the financial, that's the only one?
Yes.
Okay. Are there other questions? Anybody else want to be heard on the budget? Bill, you're writing down the questions so you can.
Yeah, I had just a couple of questions.
State your name.
The first is, my understanding is that the police contract is up in 12, and I'm wondering if within the budget you have budgeted for increases in those salaries. my understanding is that the arbitration awards have been not less than 3%, so I can't find where that's budgeted. So I appreciate being pointed in the direction. Secondly, I also could not see in the budget any indication of budgeting for subdivision at the EBCAL site, including professional services. If that has been included in the budget, could someone point me to it? And finally, in September of 2010, the Water District received a check for $937,605.21 in settlement of the MTBE case, which, as you know, it started during my administration, was suing oil refiners regarding pollution from MTBE. That money doesn't appear to be in the Water District Reserve Fund, although the check for the $937,605.21 came with the Water District's name on it. So where is that money? Those are the three questions.
Does anybody else wish to be heard on the budget?
That was Phil Cardinale.
Oh, who was that?
Well, he didn't introduce his name, that's why I know that was Phil Cardinale.
All right, well, I'll answer. Bill, you want to come up?
Bill.
Bill, not Phil, Bill.
Bill. Oh.
No, Bill.
I thought you were going to answer.
Okay, we'll start off with the parking district question. Not sure why the rates changed. I'll have to look at that. The total amount in the district is actually down $4,000 from the year before, so I don't know why the rate changed on that. I have to look at the assessed value. I don't know if last year's rate or this year's rate is incorrect, so it did not change by that amount, so I'll have to look at that.
Okay. So that may be more of a typographical type, okay. Dennis will get the information to you.
As far as the
I can answer the subdivision. The subdivision of EPCAL was budgeted for in the CDA at 2000, it was $450,000 of revenues in 2011. They were the runway use license agreement monies, and about $300,000 left in the CDA account of basically runway use license agreement money. That's left in the CDA account, and that's been encumbered for the subdivision. Do you want a police contract? We have no idea what was going to be, we don't know that we're going to binding arbitration or not binding arbitration. So there's not really a clear path as to how much to put into the budget. So we have the availability of revenues in the budget or you want to say something?
Yeah, well, we went, but the CSEA contract had 0, 1, and 1.5, and I think that was the rationale going 0, 1, and 1, but we have no agreement.
Right.
So therefore, that's what we put in. Until we have an agreement,
there's no way to know what it would be budgeted, and we would take the money out of the reserve fund as necessary. So, and then the Water District is, this was a class action lawsuit, MTBE. My recollection was it was nationwide, and most towns don't have water districts, but they were awarded money for these under this class action lawsuit. So Dick Ehlers, the Water District Attorney, gave us a legal memorandum saying that it does not have to be earmarked for the Water District because it wasn't earmarked to clean up specific wells. It was for the aquifer of the general population, and since not everybody is serviced by the Riverhead Water District, the indication was that that could be put into the reserve fund, and that's where it went. Is there anybody else? Mr. Romano.
Good afternoon, Steve Romano, Riverhead. Just out of curiosity, little frustrating seeing that our town had a higher tax rate than most of the other towns. I caught you guys on Channel 22, and I understand the reasoning behind it. But my curiosity is, if you had to maintain a 2% and not go over it, pensions and health costs and everything else that I think were excluded, what would and not using your reserve fund, what would have had to happen? Major layoffs?
If we didn't use, there's a structural deficit in the town has a structural deficit. We've been relying on reserve funds for 10 years. And we relied, in 2010, it was roughly about 4.7 that was known use of reserve funds, but there was another, I'm going to say $500,000 of revenue we would never receive. So we reduced that structural deficit to 2.6 million. We tried to, and we cut $3 million out of the spending in 2010 to 11, and this year we also relied on 2.6 million. Now here's the problem: every $1 million of spending is a 3% tax increase. So if you were to try to eliminate the structural deficit, and the structural deficit actually goes beyond just the use of reserve funds. There's other things in the budget that need to be corrected. But if you were to do the math, so that's 3, 6, I don't know, I'm going to say 7, 8% on top of the 2%. You would have been facing a 10% tax increase. Is that about right, Bill, this year if we completely? And so we're doing the best we can. At the end of 2012, we're only going to have about $8 million left in reserve funds, and we're hoping the economy turns around, and we're also hoping to pay down debt. Once we get the subdivision done at EPCAL, there are some people that have expressed interest in buying lots in EPCAL. If we're reelected and this board stays whole, this board has pretty much agreed that money we come in at EPCAL will pay down town debt. That's the way to reduce the taxes. The debt's been run up too high. And we've done a lot of things. We're on the street right now selling debt from 08 and 09, and the water district debt that we put on the town. But we went through the budget, the town had a propensity to bond things like cars and keyless entry systems and different things that you would not normally bond. And we paid those things off cash because we can't just keep bonding everything that we should be using as a normal operating expense. But that was the long answer. The short answer is you're probably looking about 10-11% tax increase if we try to eliminate that structural deficit this year.
And if you did it in layoffs, how many layoffs would you be talking?
Oh, I'm going to guess 30. We laid off 13 people, and that was about a $700,000 savings. That was a combination of full-time and part-time. So it's really hard to say, but it would be catastrophic. It would be catastrophic. The town would not function in the way you're accustomed to. The town could not withstand that number of layoffs.
Just one more curiosity question, and I know I hate them when I get them, but in hindsight, the dispatcher vote, does anybody think that maybe that was a mistake, that being that the county could have provided the service? I know there was all discussions about who could do it better, and again, I know it's unwelcome news if you're a dispatcher here and somebody's telling you you're going to get laid off, but...
Wasn't the will of the people.
Exactly,
People
but
spoke on
anybody
that.
up there think that maybe the will of the people could have been a better way? I don't know.
They didn't think so.
And the other question, remember Bridgewater, or whatever the heck that...
Broadwater.
Broadwater, LNG. Anybody have any second thoughts about that? Because what I remember, everybody was against it, but from what I recollect, it would have brought the town in like $3 or $4 million in tax revenue. I was kind of for it, myself, but I don't know if that thing is totally dead and never come up again.
I've never really evaluated it. I think it's completely gone away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard on the budget?
Just wanted to understand on the police salaries. My understanding is there's zero budgeted in the 2012 budget for police increases. My understanding is also that the lowest arbitration award given to police in this area thus far has been 3% annually.
Your understanding is correct, but that's pre-tax cap. The arbitration in Southold, I don't believe has been released, and the indications are from the mayors and supervisors that I've spoken to that arbitration awards post-tax cap are going to be significantly different. And that's actually been written, I'm not sure the mayor, can't remember which mayor I was speaking to, but I think that he said that that was written into the decision, that they could not look at the tax cap because it was not reality when the award came forward. So I think that you're going to see a much different picture in arbitration.
Well, the judgment made in the budgeting, however, was to budget 0 for 2012. If it turns out to be closer to past history at 3%, that would mean that you would have to take another nearly $1 million out of your reserves, would it not?
No. Wouldn't
Well,
be anywhere near $1 million.
How much? My understanding is.
Bill, I'm not going to get into
Well,
a
tell
back
me
and-
what. Then if you
would
know, would you
let
tell me what additional reserves would have to come out if this year's police salary increase is the lowest that has yet been granted to police by an arbitrator? In other words, 3%. How much would have to come out of the reserves?
I'm going to let the financial administrator answer that.
I'll just put it in terms of each 1%.
Oh, but wait, I want to say something. Do you know how much our police overtime is right now? When we took office, police overtime was running about $900,000 a year. It's under 600. We should come in, barring some natural disaster, at about $600,000 for police overtime.
See, I knew those steady tours that I fought for would have a benefit.
Go ahead, Bill.
That's competitive.
Okay, so the total base salaries for police is under $10 million, between 9 and 10 million. So every 1% would cost just under $100,000.
So if you got 3%,
depending on
it'd
where
be
it lands,
300,000.
that's what you would need, about
We
less
could
than
absorb
100,000
$300,000. We could absorb $300,000 in a $44 million budget without having too much problem. Does anybody else wish to be heard? Okay, I'll close the public comment portion of the budget out, and I'll leave it open for written comment until November 11th, 2011 at 4:30 at the town clerk's office. Thank you. Okay, comment on resolutions. Sal, how'd we do?
Spelling errors.
Except for a couple of typos, we did it right. Someday we'll get it right.
Resolution 816.
816?
Yeah. First whereas has a typo.
Life insurance?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have a question. Can you explain risk retention fund? What is that used for?
I can, but I will have Bill Rothar explain it to you
And
because it'll...
even more important is, I could see a transfer of $5, $6, $7, even $10,000, but 1.8 million from one fund to another. What are we trying to cover here?
I will have
The risk retention. That's it.
Okay, risk retention fund is what the fund was named back when. I think the reason
Oh,
it's
hold on for 1 second. I didn't realize that November 11th is Veterans Day. The 2 public hearings for written comment will be cut off to November 10th. We'll keep it open for 9 days to November 10th. Sorry, go ahead.
It's really our liability reserve fund. I just think that the nomenclature when it was put together may have been misleading if you put a liability as a fund. So they named it the risk retention fund, but we have 2 insurance reserve funds. One is for workers' comp and one is for a liability, and the risk retention is for a liability. What happened, without getting into the cases themselves, there was
I'll get into it.
there was a big case.
Oh, no, I'm going to get into it. Sal, this is almost indescribable. And in 2008, after a jury trial, a judgment was taken against the town of Riverhead. Hard to believe. Nobody knew. We come into the town office in 2010, and the attorney finally got around to executing the judgment against the town and locked up the Riverhead Water District funds. So you want to talk about mismanagement? I cannot understand how after a jury trial, we had a judgment for, was it $600,000? $800,000 taken against the town of Riverhead after a jury trial, and nobody in town hall knew anything about it until we came in and the accounts were locked up. We have to now, because of this risk, what we do is we're self-insured up to a certain point, and we have to fund that through an account. We're transferring money back into that account to backfill that. In fact, when we took office, there was a lot of things going wrong with outside counsel. That was probably the most egregious, but there's a lot more.
So you anticipate paying out $1.8 million?
We paid out $800,000 already, and I'll let Bill. Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Sal, this is also anticipation of all the lawsuits against the town of what they may be settled for. So the risk retention,
Pays a reserve fund.
is put into that account based on what they may be settled for or what they may be awarded. So we have that in the account.
They don't necessarily get paid out.
Yes. We just,
All right, I had to ask because it was such a big number.
No, listen, it was a little shocking when when we couldn't pay our water district employees in March because our accounts were locked up.
818, you got a typo in the first whereas, but more important is, what's the source of the $34,000 that you plan on spending for the
That's
Downtown
coming-
Waterfront Docks program to support, quote, the East End Rowing Club?
It's coming out of a grant that we got from the County Aid for Economic Development. We got a $90,000 grant for the dock renovation and improvements and boathouse renovation and improvements, so it's coming out of that grant funding.
Okay, so-
The resolution's not in the packet. The financial administrator prepared it this afternoon, and it's coming off the floor.
Okay, so it's not tax money, it's grant
No.
money? Okay. Resolution 824. You got a matching grant of $169,925. I don't know if it's just the way you worded it, but in the first resolved, okay, it says, Riverhead shall appropriate $339,850 from town funding sources, which shall serve as the condition to obtain the matching grant of $169.
Right.
Isn't it a one-for-one matching grant?
We
Or is it a
have-
two-for-one matching grant?
It's a reimbursement, so we have to put the whole amount in to show that we have it to fund the project, even
Okay.
though we won't spend it, and then they'll reimburse us.
Okay, thank you.
And this is also has to do with New York State DEC stormwater pollution plans and municipalities cleaning up their runoff so that the duck ponds don't get filled up and silted up. So it's part of that program also.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else wish to be heard on the resolutions? All right, can we take a short recess?
What?
Because the Boy Scouts are supposed to be here at 3:15, and they're not here, and they're doing it for a community service badge, so can we take a short recess? Help them out.
I don't mind.
All right, can we take a short recess? Okay. Folks, we're gonna take a short recess. So that you had plenty of time. So we're just waiting for one more board member.
We've been in session for an hour and a half. If you want to watch the TV, and then.
Who's going camping this weekend? That's what I want to know.
Wow.
Wow, all of you. I can't believe that.
It's gonna be cold.
Javik.
Good. Who's bringing air mattresses?
That's not fair. I sleep on the ground.
Who's bringing their camper with heat?
No, you're not allowed in Webelow Camp.
Ah, I
No campers
saw.
allowed in Webelow Camp.
All right, we're going to get started again. I want to welcome the Webelows. I was a Webelows, and I can't even pronounce it right. Scouts. Our Scoutmaster, our den leader, is Deanna. Go ahead. Thank you.
It's typical, it's a Riverhead name.
Sure. Say it again? Jakubowski. I'm sorry. I grew up, it was all Italians in Portchester Station where I grew up.
Polish,
It's,
that's Riverhead.
Polish names, I'm sorry, guys. Deanna, do you want to come up for a second, or would you like to have, who is your most eloquent speaker today that can explain why you're here?
Let's have the whole group up, and then
Well,
someone can explain.
Who's your most, why are we here today? You're going to be on camera. You're going to be famous. Look, you got volunteers. You have to go up to that podium right there, that microphone, and just pull it down low so that you can talk sort of into it, and they're recording you. You see yourself? Can you see yourself in the picture there?
Yeah.
All right, you're being recorded. So who are you and why are you here?
I'm Matthew Jakubowski from Cub Scouts, and I am here to earn our citizen badge.
And what is so special about today, Matthew? I happen to know what it is. What is it?
It is my birthday.
It's your birthday. It's Matthew's birthday, so we're going to sing happy birthday to Matthew. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matthew. Happy birthday to you. That's
Are you
cool.
one? Are you?
How old are you now?
10.
Wow, that's
Nice.
pretty cool. So this is a citizenship badge. What kind of stuff do you have to do for a citizenship badge?
You have to go to a boring town meeting.
You go camping?
For public speaking.
Citizenship, we learned about what last time? What did we talk about? Being a good citizen, we learned about the government, the flag.
Wow. Do you know what you know what the Riverhead flag looks like? What color is it?
Blue and green.
Nice.
Right. Kelly green, navy blue.
And where are you guys going camping?
Bating Hollow.
I camped there when I was a boy. It's pretty cool, and it's going to be very cold. Are you in tents?
Yes.
Who's going to snuggle up with you? It's going to be cold.
My dad.
All right. Well, you guys are here, and is it the? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not citizenship. It's Arrow of Light. Is that what I have written here? Is it?
That's what they need in order to become a Boy Scout, the Arrow of Light.
This is for our citizenship badge.
Oh, it is the citizenship badge. Well, you've come to the right place. This is a town board meeting, and we're where the rubber meets the road. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but we're the guys that fill your potholes, send the police out, pick up your trash, make sure you cut your grass, provide water, all the things that you guys do every day. We're the guys that make that happen. So this is a good place to start. Anything else you want to tell us?
No.
All right, good. You're very well spoken.
Happy
How about
birthday.
the pledge? You guys want to stand up and do the pledge? That's a good thing for citizenship.
Want to say? We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance
Face
again.
the camera, or they do. I promise to do that.
All right, guys.
Does anybody have any questions they want to ask us?
How old are you?
No.
All right. I'm sure this will probably be pretty boring for you. You have a question?
What do you do here at Town Hall?
A lot of people want to know that.
We manage your water, we provide police protection, we pick up your trash, we pave your roads. The highway superintendent was here.
We make laws.
We make parks.
Build your, ball fields, manage your ball
We
fields.
make regulations pertaining to the
Town.
safety of your house. So when your house is built, it's built safely,
Constituent
so
services.
nobody gets hurt while they're living in that house. We check the electricity, we make, so we do a lot for this public safety as far as the citizens of the town of Riverhead.
Anybody else have a question? Okay.
How do you make the laws?
We passed something called a resolution. What happens is one of the board members will draft a resolution, or the town attorney's office will draft a resolution for something that we want to do. And we're going to vote on probably about 30 of them today. And one board member offers the resolution to the floor. A second board member seconds it. Once the board member seconds it, then you have to have a vote. And if you get 3 people in favor of it, it gets adopted. And if you don't, it fails. And if you don't get a second, it doesn't go up for vote.
And that's called a local law. It's only for the town of Riverhead. It's all it pertains to. We also have a public hearing before any of these laws or regulations are put into effect. We have a public hearing, get comments from the public on anything that we do to change a regulation or law or anything that we do. We always have to have a public hearing.
All right. Anybody else? Everyone wants to be on camera today. Go ahead.
Do you like your job?
I love my job. I love my job, and I'll tell you what, anybody that sometimes there's a lot of people in this world that don't like their job, and here's a good life lesson for you. I can't imagine how you could go through every day and not like your job. So when you guys get older, when you get a job, don't be afraid. If it's a job you don't like, get another one. Do something else. You know how many different, I've had like 3 or 4 different careers in my 45 years, and every time there's something that I think there'll be something that's exciting, I try to do it. And if I can do it, I do it. So yes, and I think everybody probably loves the job.
99% of the time.
Our job is to help people, so that's a lot of fun, helping people.
Who else? Go ahead.
Why is the flag blue and green?
That's the town flag. Supervisor Joseph Janoski back in the early 80s designed it, and it has, if you look at it, and don't ask, I don't remember, who knows what the Latin stands for? The flag, the flag symbolizes the town hall, the fact that we're surrounded by water and the farming community, and I actually have it backwards. It should be the other way.
Here's the symbol right here, Sean.
Well, that's the symbol, but that's the flag that was designed for the town. Sean, that's peace and prosperity through progress. Peace and prosperity through progress.
That's the
I
first
should
time I've
have
ever heard
known
Rick
that.
Hanley speak. You know me just
Peace and prosperity through progress. Here you go, 22 months being your town supervisor, and I never really thought about it till you guys asked me that. Any other questions?
I just want to say, Supervisor Janowski, when he redesigned the flag, he was an art teacher before he became supervisor. So he had that in him to draw and to design stuff. So that's why he's the one who did the artwork and the redesign of our the flag.
Do you want a little secret? See the seal behind me? That one's correct. See the ship, the boat with the different flags? That one is correct. If you look at the seal that's on the podium right there, that's actually the one that Supervisor Janoski had designed, but when it was adopted, he went to a couple people in the boat building business, and they said what he designed could never sail. So they came and they adopted this one, which is actually correct. So you have a secret, not a secret, but you know something. If you see one that has 3 sails, it's not the right seal. Anybody else? How about the gentleman in the blue? And then we'll go over to the...
What do you gotta do to get this job?
That's a great
Looks
question.
easy, right? Do you see all those political signs out there? All the signs that say vote for Walter? I'm Walter. Cardinale is a gentleman that just left. He was here, but he left. He was the former supervisor. I ran for an election against him, and I won, and now he's running for an election against me. And on November 8th, all your moms and dads will go to the polls, and they'll vote. And if I get, just like a resolution, if I get the majority of the voters, then I win. If I don't, then Supervisor Cardinale wins.
Yep.
It's a tough business.
Just like when you're in school, class president, you gotta get the.
All right, anybody that hasn't spoken, because yes, go ahead.
How do you make a national park?
How do you make a national park? Well, we don't make national
Approved in
parks. Congress
Washington,
does
D.C.
that. There's two ways that it can be done. One is probably somewhat suspect, but it has been done in the past. The President of the United States, through an executive order, has in the past made national parks. But the real way you make a national park is Congress votes. A bill is introduced. It goes into a committee. And in the Senate and the Congress, or House of Representatives, and the committee, if they like it, they'll move the bill out of committee to the full Congress, and the Senate will vote on the bill, and then the House of Representatives will vote on the bill, and then if they're the same, they will go to the President for signature. If they're different, then if it's the same issue but a different bill, they have a conference committee, and then the conference committee reconciles the two bills to make them into one bill, and then it would go to the president, and there's a lot more into it. But that's the thumbnail. That's the.
We make local parks, like Statsky Park. There's a park on West Main Street. So that's what we do. We vote to make local parks, so everybody can enjoy the open space in a park setting locally, okay?
Good question. All right. Go ahead, son.
When you decide how to do it, there's so much things. Everybody asks you to do stuff. How do you decide on one person?
Yes.
Good question.
There is a lot of competing interests. In other words, there's a lot of people that ask us to do different things. And here's another life lesson for you. Every one of you have core values. And when you get elected to public office or when you take a job someplace, those core values, they make up who you are and how you decide things. You rely on those core values to make decisions. There are some politicians that'll go like this to see how the wind is going, and if they think the wind is favorable, they'll vote a certain way. I'm not one of them. I'm one of these people, and I think this board is, none of this board does that. This board has very strong core values, and they bring those values to the table when they make decisions. And don't ever forget that. What makes up your value system is what you draw on when people are asking you to make decisions. All right, did we get everybody?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Did the press have some questions? What was it? It was not conjunction, junction, what's your function, but there was one on Channel 7, they used to have the bill went into the law. Who can sing? How the bill, right, how do you sing that? I can't believe you guys have never seen that. Schoolhouse Rock.
What's the building on the town seal?
Something, the Supreme Court building on Griffin Avenue.
Because Riverhead used to be the county seat.
So
Riverhead still is the county seat.
They moved it to Southampton, they just kept the name.
Yes.
You're right.
Right.
Ah, yes.
The mailing address is Riverhead.
That's right. And there are adopted, Flanders and Riverside are adopted constituencies. Okay, let's get started on the resolutions.
Resolution 808.
Are we doing that last? Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement with the County of Suffolk for diesel generators. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 809.
809 is a CDBG 2011 program budget adoption. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 810.
Establishment of Audit Committee. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 811.
Establishes the date for the 12th Annual Town of Riverhead Bonfire and Holiday Celebration to be held on the riverfront on December 10th. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 812.
General Town Roman Memorial Budget Adjustment. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 813.
It's a general fund police department budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 814.
Highway District Budget Adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 815.
Authorizes the Town of Riverhead to remove rubbish, debris, and the cutting of grass and weeds from property known as 2913 North Wading River Road, Wading River, New York, 11792, pursuant to Chapter 96 entitled Trash, Rubbish, and Refuse Disposal of the Riverhead Town Code. Migdalia Marin, trustee, and Jason Cavola. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
No.
Wooten.
Of course. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 816.
Insurance Reserve Fund Balance Budget Adjustment. So moved.
I'll second.
With the correction, self.
Right, this left, the self.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 817.
There's a Riverhead Sewer District budget adjustment. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 818.
Awards bid for downtown waterfront docks program. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
I just want to say that this is a very exciting project, and it's taken a long time to get these docks approved through the New York State DEC so that we can put docks downtown wide enough to where we can have regattas and we can have crew teams come out and actually launch from our riverfront and go down through the beautiful Peconic River. So it's very exciting that it's happening and that the docks will be installed prior to November 13th, which will be the Snowflake Regatta, and we expect several crew teams from all over Suffolk County to come and enjoy the beautiful scenery along the Peconic River. So I will vote yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
This will be in the next week, isn't it?
Yeah, they're gonna put it in tomorrow.
Keep
over
our
the
fingers
weekend.
crossed.
Well, then I guess I better vote yes. Yes.
Dunleavy.
We hope it's going to be installed by then. I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes, and I just want to thank Councilwoman Giglio. She's been pushing for this for a long time and did a good job. Thank you.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 819.
Ratifies approval of military leave of absence for a police officer. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 820.
Appoints a public safety dispatcher to the Riverhead Police Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 821.
821 again, appoints a public safety dispatcher to the police department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
I'll abstain.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 822.
Appoints a public safety dispatcher to the police department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Even though it's sort of a similar last name and no relationship, yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 823.
Accepts the resignation of a part-time homemaker. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 824.
Authorize the supervisor to execute an intermunicipal agreement authorizing the town to accept matching grant funds from the Suffolk County Water Quality Protection and Restoration Program regarding the Wading River Duck Ponds Water Quality Improvement Project in the maximum amount of $169,925. So moved.
I'll second.
Say that twice fast. Moved and
I'll
seconded,
second.
vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 825.
Authorization to publish advertisement for pickup and removal of town yard waste. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 826.
Authorize the supervisor to execute professional services agreement with East End Accounting Services Corp. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
No.
Gabrielson.
No.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 827.
Authorization for building department to waive application fee for East End Arts Council for holiday banner. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 828.
Pay the bills. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. And we have the,
Untable,
No,
we
we
have
got a
a
new
one
one.
off the floor.
oh yeah, that's,
Yes.
mine's special.
Wow. Should be blue.
What number are we,
829.
829. I'll move they take 829 off the floor, which deals with the Riverhead Downtown Waterfront Dock Program budget adoption. So I move to take it off the floor.
And seconded.
moved and seconded to take off the floor?
Giglio.
Yes, and I want to thank the county for their aid in economic development to provide money for these docks so that they can be installed and it'll bring people to downtown. Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution is taken off the floor.
Did we move it? Joe, you wanna move it? Move it for a vote?
Okay. I'd like to move resolution number 829, the budget adoption for the docks. So moved?
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 829 is adopted.
I'd like to take Resolution 794, which was tabled and untabled it. 795, excuse me, which was tabled and untabled it. So moved.
As amended, we're going to amend Gershow
Yeah, as
Recycling
amended.
to Michael
Well, we
Jessica.
have to take it off, we have to
We have to take it
untable
off the floor first.
All right.
Take it off the floor. So moved.
That's not correct, we gotta untable it, then they.
Right, do we have a second?
Okay,
So
second,
second.
Moved and seconded to untable it.
Who seconded? Jim?
Jim,
Oh,
Okay.
table it. Yeah, I said table it.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
yes.
The resolution is untabled.
Okay, so we're going to amend it
Now we have to-
and check out Gershow Recycling and add Michael Majewski.
Muse.
I'm looking at
Okay.
Tara's handwriting.
It's Muse.
Muse?
It's Michael Muse.
Muse.
And, oh, there you go. Michael Muse, Inc. Do
Okay.
you have a copy of this?
I do. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
And can we move that?
Okay, Resolution 795, authorize the sale of surplus town personal property to wit, and that's ship chain, as amended. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
Okay, now we open up the town board meeting for anybody that wants to discuss anything that might fall under the purview of the town, and we ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Anybody want to address the town? Well, not seeing anybody. We get a motion to
I
adjourn?
make a motion, we adjourn the town board meeting.
Seconded, all in favor, aye, go.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming, folks.